there are a lot of things in people's highest harmonics that they would write off for themselves. They're writing them off as like just hobbies or just interest. But actually, that's your life path. That's your highest goal energetically, is to do that. So to actually be able to work with strangers, because I don't know my clients and whatever, and just be like, hey, this is the energy in these harmonics. And they're like, oh my God, that's my sole desire for 37 years and I can't, or whatever. That's what I really want to do. But I thought blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's access to getting on your actual life path, so you can get out of your head or whatever and really embrace your energy.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Astrology Hub podcast. Today, we are going to do a very deep dive into a fascinating realm of astrology called Harmonic Astrology. We have with us the multi-talented Clarissa Dolphin, who is also an upcoming Inner Circle Expand guide. And Clarissa's expertise has been recognized by the New York Times. And as a certified harmonic astrologer, shamanic healer, tarot diviner, Reiki master, and writer, Clarissa brings a wealth of knowledge and a unique perspective to the astrological table. In today's episode, we'll explore harmonic astrology's profound impact on personal growth. We'll uncover hidden aspects of our astrological charts and learn practical ways to apply these insights in our everyday lives. So get ready to discover how the subtle yet powerful influences of harmonics can bring transformative change to your journey. Clarissa is also teaching a harmonic astrology mastery class in our Inner Circle Expand membership. So I am excited to introduce these concepts here today so our Inner Circle members can get very excited about what's to come very soon in their membership. And Clarissa, welcome back to the Astrology Hub podcast. I'm so happy you're here again.
Thank you so much, Amanda. It gives me body chills to speak to you and the Astrology Hub community every time. And I just want to thank you for, being so open and really on the cutting edge of astrology. I appreciate being here.
Yes. I mean, if we think about astrology as something that is living and breathing and responding to us as much as we're responding to it, expanding our awareness of what's possible within astrology seems really important, right? So that brings us to harmonic astrology. For those out there who don't know what that is, can you please give us an understanding of what harmonic astrology is and how it's different than traditional or modern astrology?
Absolutely. Harmonic astrology, I think for the purposes of our discussion today, really, there are two main things to consider in terms of like what it is and how it differs from other astrological schools. One main thing to consider is actually the time period that we're existing in now. So harmonic astrology is very modern, which I'll explain in a second. I think the other concept is actually very ontological. Really, in terms of historic and other astrology schools up till now, really for very many hundreds of years, astrology was restricted to higher classes in the court. And so it was very much used and applied for political and social reasons. Like, this is when this person's going to become king, deliver your army there. This guy's a robber, he's a Scorpio, and things like that. The harmonic astrology ontological kind of purview is completely synonymous with quantum mechanics and quantum physics. But beyond that, and really in that kind of mind frame, harmonic astrologers were not dealing with the social and or effects, political effects of planets. We are directly experiencing the origin of all being. like literally, energy, like physics. So it's like the different type of consciousness, it's a different type of being. And also in terms of like modernity and what, like how it kind of actually works, like in real life and application. Harmonics have been around also for thousands of years, particularly through the Vedic astrology tradition. So the Navamsa and the Saptamsa charts from Vedic astrology, Navamsa chart is the ninth harmonic, and the Saptamsa chart is the seventh harmonic. However, we in terms of just actually being able to use harmonics, it really expanded and blew up in the 1970s when we had computers to calculate things. It takes forever to calculate a harmonic, right? So anyway, so now we're in like a very modern zone. It's 2024, where we have equipment where we can actually calculate in an instant any type of number of harmonic, because our harmonics are infinite. Harmonics take it a step further into the quantum realm with things like, and these are all 20th century breakthroughs, things like the double slit experiment, where, waves become light and etc. The way that we detect these quantum subatomic movements and particles and effects and forces through harmonic astrology is very much connected to things like the Higgs boson, which is the God particle, but particularly the Higgs field, which is this concept in quantum mechanics of every single thing in the universe being connected through the Higgs field or something like it, which is this giant fence or whatever. Long story short, blah, blah, blah. It's all symmetry. It's symmetrical. So in harmonic astrology, it's very much the symmetry, the symmetrical distances, the angular distances, the shapes are alive. They reverberate, they carry waves, they carry frequencies that we can detect and spot and experience and feel. So I hope that was a good summation.
I'm curious, you have a lot of harmonic astrology students. Who are the type of people that are attracted to this particular practice of astrology? And who are the ones who are like, no, that is not my jam? Can you sort of help us understand who this is great for and who it's like, if you're like this, you're probably not going to really enjoy this study?
Ooh. Oh my God, that gave me body chill, made my heart warm. So exciting. So I think generally the people where, harmonic astrology is your jam are probably general empaths, people who are intuitive, people who feel first before they go to rationality. I think that, if you want to just explain everything and you're not comfortable in the unknown, if you're not comfortable in spaces beyond intellect, harmonic astrology isn't going to work for you because you're not going to be able to read it very well. It speaks to, I think, Amanda, probably my shamanic training in some capacities where, my experience in shamanic dimensions is that the human mind goes last. Like it's experience first, right? And then it kind of trickles down so you can filter it out and think about it. I don't think, even though it is, so I was like F- in math, remedial math, my first year in college and stuff like that. Now I'm like math master, right? So I can get how like the appeal of the math of astrology could turn off some people when we're talking about harmonics and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think you have to be a math expert. In fact, I'm so grateful that I found this because now I see the divinity in math. Now I see the like soul, the quantum physics, how it all the wavelengths. So yeah.
Okay. So I'm really glad that you shared that in college you were a mediocre at best math student And that now through this lens, because you're understanding the context. I mean, that's what I found. Like I also was not, I had to take calculus as a psych major, and it was the hardest thing on the planet for me. It was so hard because the entire time I was like, I just don't understand, like, why does this matter? Where does it fit in? Like, what the heck am I ever going to do with it? It didn't make sense, you know? But it sounds to me like you found the thing that makes math make sense to you. So now you can actually understand it because it has a context and it has a point. What do you see as the biggest benefit to this? Like, how does this help someone live a better life? How does this help someone understand themselves better? How does this help someone choose their life path or get direction or answers in their life? How does it help people?
Well, it's beyond accurate. There are no words to describe the levels of accuracy that are found in the analysis. It's mind blowing. So it helps to be seen on such a precise level. And particularly so there are things in my chart, like, so for example, I'm a sun Cancer. I'm very Cancerian. I hate it, but it's true, right? But there's some things that I can't understand about the Cancerian archetype that it's kind of there, but it's not there. With harmonic analysis, it's all there. It's like, boom, it's like, oh my God, I think that other ways that particularly harmonic analysis is really helps your life path. Like, for example, some of my highest harmonics, I didn't have dreams for, but I'm doing them now. So one of my highest harmonics is the 19th, it's on 19th harmonic octave. I never dreamt of being involved in organizations on any capacity, but now I'm the president of ESAR, right? So anyway, it helps me understand, and I'm also a high 11th harmonic person. And if you look at my first harmonic, you can't really see how busy I am. You can't see how much energy, this is hilarious. Because a lot of my 11th harmonic students and clients, a lot of us were ravers in the 90s, and it makes sense, right? Like, there's so many things that you can't see in your natal chart that are so prominent and so resonant in your harmonic analysis that explain everything to the T. It's very precise. It's very basically, long story short, just to wrap it up, you are without harmonics, you are unable to detect, I would say, at least 80% of the actual things going on in your life and your being, period.
Wow. So from your perspective, this fills in, it's almost like it fills in a gap that we don't even necessarily know we have. And what I'm hearing too is that it expands our potential, and it expands possibilities that you wouldn't even necessarily consider if you were only interpreting your chart a certain way, or maybe even only in tune with yourself in a certain way, astrology aside. If you only understood yourself from one dimension, this is bringing in a whole other dimensional aspect of yourself that enables you to expand yourself and what's possible.
Oh my God, body chills. So glad I have water so I just don't pass out from excitement. Yes. So, and to that point, Amanda, honestly, and this actually is making me a little bit emotional. I'm really moved by it. There are a lot of things in people's highest harmonics that they would write off for themselves. They're writing them off as just hobbies or just interest. But actually, that's your life path. That's your highest goal. And so it's interest energetically is to do that. So to actually be able to work with strangers, because I don't know my clients and whatever, and just be like, hey, this is the energy in these harmonics. And they're like, oh my God, that's my sole desire for 37 years and I can't, or whatever. That's what I really want to do. But I thought blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's access to getting on your actual life path, so you can get out of your head or whatever and really embrace your energy. And then when you do, harmonics are not as above, so below, because some people don't embrace their energy, right? And so then there's like this occlusion, there's like this stop thing, right? But once they kind of get kind of like in alignment with their actual energy, their lives just explode, blows up, full life, satisfaction, because you're in your energy current and you're not blocking it for whatever societal or psychological reason or whatever.
Ooh. So it's a fast track out of the programming and conditioning that we experience here in this third dimension. Wow. That's amazing. Okay. Thank you for explaining that. That actually was, you made some incredible points there. Very compelling.
Oh, another thing that I think is really important with harmonic analysis and consciousness, if you are a human being who is comfortable with the concept that we don't control everything, like humans, right? That there are forces that create us and that affect us and that create everything else, this is your jam, because you're able to detect the forces and experience the forces without trying to figure them out first. So there is a great unknown. And I think if you're into that, this will appeal to you.
Astrology can be perceived as complex enough, like just like the basics of astrology, let alone to layer on a whole nother type of astrology. So how does one approach it? Is it like learn all these things first and then layer in harmonic, or you can start right out the gate with harmonic? What do you think is the most effective approach for that?
Yeah, you can start right out the gate. Really, it doesn't matter. I personally started, like many astrologers, self-training, right? Like I've been into astrology since I was a little girl, right? Reading charts when I was a teenager. Then I started my Harmonic Astrology certification program and did that after 15, 20 years of learning it myself on the internet, like most of us. Then I got certified with that. Then I studied, I became certified in horary. So I am a certified traditional astrologer as well. And I think, I've seen so often that people who are totally green to harmonic astrology that just know signs and glyphs and they're rocking it. And then I've seen, super advanced astrologers who have done so many different schools of astrology. And they're rocking it too. But sometimes I think maybe being green is better because you don't bring all this other stuff. So it really is, there are lots of variables, but it really is open to everybody in every level.
In your readings, do you do both, or do you usually lean on harmonic? How do you make that decision?
I do both. Harmonics are part of everything I do with astrology. I have, and I'd love to tweak this, in upcoming years, but I have a very kind of like specific approach. I use horary techniques with the consultation chart. I use all the harmonics, period. I use harmonics with forecasting. I also use harmonics with solar arc. What I don't do is, and what I would advise never to do, is to put a harmonic next to a natal chart. Don't do it. Just look at the harmonic. There are like specific things, like it sounds, I think harmonic astrology could potentially sound like, oh my God, or like of stunting in some capacity, kind of like just like super crazy. But, my approach to kind of like bringing people in and teaching students, it's very simple. There are the basics harmonics, 8, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Get those down, you get everything down. They're direct midpoint structures and then the planetary currents. So once you start training with, these three kind of things and you learn a little bit about the rules and the systems and you just keep practicing, it just starts to flow.
Mm.
There is an entry point.
Do you use aspects in harmonic astrology?
Absolutely. And this is actually an advanced concept, but aspects are harmonics, period.
Mm. Tell us about the mastery class that you're teaching. Where are you? What's the entry point for the Inner Circle Expand members? How are they gonna get in and start this harmonic astrology exploration?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so excited about this. So teaching is my favorite thing to do. My basically the endpoint's going to be the lunations, right? We all experience new moons and full moons. It's a very immersive and experiential experience. We're going to learn the basics harmonics. We're going to learn planetary patterns with the sun and the moon and what the sun and the moon kind of mean and how they're experienced in harmonics. And so basically we've got natal analysis going on. We've got forecasting analysis going on with harmonics. And we also have, an entry point for any level of astrologer with it, beginner, intermediate, and or advanced. Basically what I'm going to do beyond what I just said is really kind of introduce how to read them. To also what you're going to walk away with is knowing what your highest harmonics are, at least initially, right? Because I have these crazy harmonic softwares and calculators or whatever, but there is a way where if you know what your highest harmonic in the base 6 are, that's going to be your passport to so much opening up in the world. So that's a little bit of what, we're all going to dive in together with.
Amazing. So students will get an understanding of their strongest harmonic. They're going to get a basic understanding of what the different harmonics are and how to interpret them. And then they're going to get an understanding of how to apply that harmonic understanding to the lunar cycle is what I'm hearing too. So the new harmonic and then how that actually will interplay with their own harmonic potentially, and that it's good for all levels, which is very exciting because we do have a lot of different levels of astrology student in our Inner Circle Expand group. So that's great. There's going to be something for everyone. Okay, Clarissa, is there anything else you'd want to say to people that are intrigued, but maybe intimidated or curious? What would you say to them in terms of the best place to start to just begin exploring this realm of harmonic astrology?
The best place to start, good old Astrobeats. Go look at your harmonic. Just look at it. That's the harmonic analysis is not rational. It is. We're going through Pluto and Aquarius right now. So I think we're all really kind of in some capacity, maybe many of us are really starting to understand that existence isn't rational. And so a lot of it isn't, right? So I think, to start, literally just stare at your harmonic charts and start in with the base 6. So 8, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. You don't need to do 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. That's not really going to help. And then just identify. I really do feel the start of harmonics and really kind of mastering it is maneuvering and visual. It's very synesthetic. So just get yourself literate in being able to see what planets are connecting where. And that's it.
Okay. It's interesting. I've heard recently that, and it was in our Inner Circle community, someone sharing that they're now starting to have geometric dreams. They're starting to see sacred geometry and shapes. And it sounds to me like looking at your harmonic chart may open up this level of understanding beyond, like you said, the rational mind, and open you up to more levels of yourself which we're continually discovering aspects of ourselves. And that's one of the most beautiful things about astrology. It's just like layer upon layer upon layer of ourselves and the universe at the same time. It's all unfolding.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Clarissa, thank you so much for being here. This has been such a pleasure. If you love this podcast, make sure you subscribe, leave us a comment. Clarissa will be in responding to your feedback, your questions. So leave questions, leave comments, leave insights. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you as always for making astrology a part of your life. If you're interested in joining the Inner Circle Expand group in order to get access to this mastery class from Clarissa, go ahead and check it out at astrologyhub.com. We'll put the links in the description of this episode. You can jump in, experience this mastery class, and start to dive into your studies of harmonic astrology now. So check it out. Thank you again, Clarissa, for being here. You're such a pleasure as always. Thank you for blowing our minds and expanding what's possible. Really appreciate you. And take care, everyone. We will see you on the next episode.